Judy Garland is falling down.
Hopefully that stays.
We could have a whole slew of like Judy Garland,
Reese
Reese Witherspoon, but also Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, where is Aretha Franklin?
I think she died. Hello and welcome to this year's edition of Hardly Holidays, the sweetened, condensed version of our show, Hardly Working. We are giving you not one, not two, but 10 days of holiday episodes coming into your ear holes and eyeballs from now until New Year's. I am SP.
And I'm Kelly.
And it is so festive here in the studio. If you're not watching,
Yes,
just
it is.
listening, Kelly is decked out. I've broken out my Christmas sweater, my red sweater with moose on it. I believe that's what I'd call it. Moose, meese, mices.
With moose.
With moose.
With moose on it.
They are loose. Kelly's got her.
I got my, Minnie's making a list and she's checking it twice. Disney sweater, the tried and true. It's one of my favorites. It's green. It has snowflakes. It is one of my favorite holiday sweaters.
It is good.
Because it's super, super cute.
As I was looking back at last year's Hardly Holidays, you were also wearing a Disney Christmas
My
sweater.
other Disney Christmas sweater.
Yes, and I was wearing this. But the way that you know that it's not the same, we didn't just use the old recordings, is
You don't
because we look so much better this year. We're more beautiful, more handsome, thinner, more youthful and vivacious. Plus, I'm wearing this necklace, which I wasn't wearing last year.
It's like, by thinner, you mean gain 10 pounds.
It's
And
the
for me.
holidays.
So my lips are chapped.
It's the time to gain weight, but it's also the time to look back at the year that was 2024, and that's what we're doing today on day one of Hardly Holidays.
And I'm really grateful for this because I need you to know, which I'm sure many people feel this way. This year has felt like 10 years.
It has.
I thought the COVID year felt like 10 years. I was wrong.
Nope.
This year, I'm sure I'm going to be very surprised by some things because I do not remember anything past November.
Oh, good news for you that was
I
only
kind
a
of
month
remember
ago.
September, but that's about as
Oh,
far
you mean
back.
anything earlier than November?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
dang.
remember anything backwards past.
Well, this will be a short, fun episode of me redescribing things that happened to Kelly throughout the year. 2023 was a crazy, crazy year. We had stuff like the submarine implosion on the voyage to the Titanic.
Which they found this year.
What?
Yeah. They found it. They found the pieces of it.
Dang. We also had things like the Grimace milkshake taking over
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
the world by storm. So many things. But this year, it did feel like 10 years. But I was surprised when I looked back at what the year was. So let's
I'm
jump
ready.
in no particular order. Here are our top 10 standout pop culture moments from the year of 2024, whether it's wild, wacky, outrageous, or just stuff you've forgotten. Starting with, it wouldn't be a Hardly Working show if we didn't have our girl, Taylor Swift's finishing her record-breaking Eras tour.
This is probably the thing I'm the most sad about. And I told you this too. I said, this was something that I looked forward to. I didn't necessarily always watch the live streams. I did watch some of them, but I loved watching the breakdown videos afterward where people would be like, she wore this outfit and this outfit and this happened.
Did it
and maybe
change from day to day? I know there
Yes.
was like songs that shifted.
So she had her surprise songs, which because we went and saw Taylor Swift.
Yep.
She had surprise songs and she started doing more mashups as she went through. If you know, which I know you do, is that she put together Folklore and Evermore into one section.
Yeah.
And when she went to Europe and she did the Tortured Poets Department, which I was really bummed about that we didn't get to see. So that was a whole big thing. But she would change up her outfits.
Nice.
And people thought it meant something. And to this day, there are 2 outfits that she still hasn't worn. And a lot of people think it's because those were the Vienna show outfits that got canceled due to the bomb.
I'm telling you, if this was 300 years ago, they would think that this woman was their savior because they're like, it's a different outfit. What does it mean? They're
True.
always looking for the Easter eggs,
But
these Swifties.
She's kind of set it up that way. But also what I will say is I'm so bummed that it's over because I'm not excited about the next couple of years. And this was relief. This was something to look forward to. And I'm like, Taylor Swift, I know you're tired. I know you're going to take a year off. I get it. But please come back with something good.
Girl.
Like, help us out, okay?
And we need a little positivity moving forward.
Yes.
She did crush it. It wasn't just this year. The tour was part of last year in 2023 as well. She sold over $2 billion worth of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
2 billion with a B. I read, how many millions did she give in tour bonuses?
She gave back $187 million to people like her dancers, her crew, people that truck stuff. She like just gave bonuses out. And I told you this too. And in every country or in every city that she stopped in, she donated to the local like food banks as well.
It's amazing. Look,
So
pretty incredible.
give me that positivity.
That's amazing. Yeah, like you said, she's been to a ton of different continents: North America, Europe, Asia, Australia. It was an absolute cultural phenomenon. I can't not even believe how hard this woman worked. And to give at least like 10% of your earnings from ticket sales, not even counting merch and all that stuff, to your crew. And that makes, she almost gave up like $200 million just as bonuses and thank yous and stuff. And that's just doing business the right way. So wanted to give her a shout out as she finished up her Eras tour.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, I didn't even really know this was a thing. Have you heard about Glicked?
Yes. I was like, Glicked, what's that? Gladiator and Wicked?
Yes, it
the
was
quote unquote showdown that was supposed to be similar to Oppenheimer and Barbie and wasn't, because who wants to see Gladiator? Not just Gladiator, but Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal isn't going to save you. Isn't going to get people in the box office. Neither is Pedro Pascal. Love him.
Love him. Great on Game of Thrones.
And other things as well. But like Wicked was always going to win out, guys. Although the real thing people should talk about is not Glicked. I don't know what you would put together, but Moana versus Wicked, because Moana
I agree.
2 was like huge. It was the next week, but it was huge in the box office and beat out Wicked in their opening weekend. However, I think Wicked will win overall because I've heard that it wasn't that good. I haven't seen it yet. We are
You talking
Moana.
about Moana 2?
Yeah, we are Moana fans, but we are Disney and Moana fans, but I have heard that it was not great.
Yeah, real quick on that. So that Moana 2 movie was originally supposed to be a TV show slated for Disney Plus.
I told you that.
And Bob Iger was like, "Oh no, honey, we're not giving this away for free. This is going to be a feature." And they're just raking in cash. But more on that in a few days when we go through the top movies and stream TV shows of 2024. So we'll make it back there. This one.
Was it a real cinematic showdown?
You know, that's what people said. For me, it was about the same level of the Barbenheimer showdown in the sense that I only cared about seeing one of these movies.
Yeah.
And I did. I did not see
Twice.
Gladiator. Yes, I've spent no less than 6 hours of my life watching Wicked, which is still significantly lower than yours and Brooklyn. No, not Brooklyn. She's at 6.
Was sweet because you did say like I don't think I've actually really watched Wicked. I've more just watched you and Brooklyn experience it and you cry. And those are the sweeter moments. That's what you told me.
Yep, I've never seen Wicked. The
You've
experience,
seen pieces of Wicked.
yes, for sure. But the experience that you get and feel by watching that, I get that experience by watching you guys watch it, and it's very much a creeper thing. But I love you guys, and I love seeing your life unfold.
And you're her dad, so you're allowed.
We gonna be all right.
But yeah, I had a feeling this wasn't as big of a showdown as many people said it was. But I too feel the same. I did see Oppenheimer with my dad and my brother, but
never once have you talked about that movie though.
it was so long.
I know. So
it
was
wasn't
Wicked,
bad,
though, but it was long, but a quick 240.
Because it was
245.
entertaining. There wasn't really any like down moments where you were like, you could have taken that out. But I had no desire to see Gladiator 2 of all things.
Yeah, I can't say that I really saw Gladiator 1 because when it came out, I was pretty young. I know what happens. I get it. Joaquin Phoenix. I almost called him Gerard Butler. What's the dude from
he was in
Beautiful
300.
Mind? Yeah. His name escapes me right now. He was also Zeus in the latest Thor movie. I'll think of it later.
I don't know. But I was gonna say that I was when someone said Gladiator 2, I was like, is that This Is Sparta? And I was like, no, that's 300. I was like, did they come out in the same time? Because like,
I don't know.
I just have no recollection.
Here's what I do know is I had to put this in here because at least Wicked on its own was an absolute cultural phenomenon.
Yes.
It changed our lives
100%.
for good.
For good.
Let's see what else happened. Moodang Mania. Now, this is one of the things that I think you blocked out of your brain. Moodang Mania.
Who the heck is Moodang?
You don't even know who Moodang is?
Is that a seal?
It's not a seal. Listen,
I'm looking at a picture of what looks like a dinosaur, and I guessed seal.
It is a pygmy hippopotamus named Moodang. He captured the hearts worldwide of people here, there, and everywhere, becoming an internet sensation in symbolizing this year's escapist trends. So not only is it how cute is this pygmy hippo that truly broke the internet, at least our internet, not your internet, I guess. But what I liked is it did highlight the need for the, as they're calling it, escapism, just to fall in love with something and fall out of thinking of all the stuff that's happening.
It's just like that turtle that we all fell in love with.
Oh no, what turtle did we fall in love with?
The turtle from that girl's backyard that we like watched for a long time. The tortoise.
Yeah, on a global scale,
I
that
don't-
was a huge
I don't know
tortoise.
who Mudang is.
Well, I'll
I
tell
feel
you.
dumb, but also like I don't know that I care.
Well, the world cared, Cal. Okay,
the world can
clips of
care.
Mudang splashing in the water, eating watermelons, waddling around, melted hearts of people across the world.
Yeah.
Across the world. And like I said, this was what was interesting for me. He was a symbol, or she. I actually don't know.
Are they dead?
No.
You said he or she was.
Was a symbol
Okay. Is a
earlier this
symbol.
year as we
Okay.
look backwards. You know, verb tenses are important. In a year filled with challenges, Mudang became the symbol of joy and lightheartedness, offering a temporary escape from the everyday stresses that we were dealing with many of the things that we won't talk about, like all of the wars and craziness around the world.
Mm-hmm.
He or she, I don't know, jury's still out on the pygmy hippo,
Mudang.
was the symbol of escapism. If you don't know Mudang, I can't imagine, but if you're not watching it, give it a little Google. M-O-O, new word, D-E-N-G, the pygmy hippopotamus.
Okay.
Well, if you didn't know that one, you're not going to like this
Probably
one,
not
Cal.
gonna know this one.
But I will tell you, you can't go through this year without acknowledging the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake beef. They not like us, baby.
This was hysterical because I like adjacently, is that what it is? Like
Sure.
know about this and got yelled at it a bunch in the TikTok video that we posted where you were where it was like things boys would know that girls wouldn't or whatever. And you played this and people were like, people should know that. I just don't. Because rap is crap. It's in the name.
Whoa. Crap
not.
is rap is in the name, but I see what you're going for.
I know that it's not. It's just not my preference. In the same way that country music isn't your preference.
No doubt.
You're not going to listen to any Kelsey Ballerini. I get it. It's fine. Just like I'm probably not going to listen to any Justin Bieber. It's just not my preference. Unless it's young. This is not my preference.
Well, it's not my preference either, to be honest.
But I don't know. But they went back and forth through song. Is
Yes.
that what this was?
Yes, through song, like West Side Story, babe. It was just like that.
That's right.
It was the Sharks versus the Jets. And they're all snapping. No, this was, as you said, a back and forth beef of diss tracks. I think it probably went back and forth 3 separate times, but the third time, Drake put out his song "They Not Like Us," which I won't
Like
play
us.
so we don't get flagged for copyright. But
Is
you've
that what
heard
it is? They not like us. They not like us. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Look at me go.
But he put Drake in the ground, and
Wait, who released it?
Kendrick Lamar.
You said Drake first. Okay, so Kendrick Lamar released
Yeah, I
a
said
track.
he put Drake into the ground.
Before that, you said Drake. It ended with Drake releasing a song. I just needed clarity because I do not know.
Apologies
so Kendrick
if I misspoke.
Lamar released a song called "They Not Like Us," where he put Drake in the ground by.
It's a metaphor.
I know,
He buried it. By going through his history and dissing so many parts of who he is and what he's done. Parts,
Did he diss Aubrey?
That's it. That's who he is.
I know, but
He dissed him by saying things like, "You're really just a colonizer, and every time you need money, you just run to Atlanta for people to give you money." He said that he's interested in children. Better hide your little sisters from him.
Wow.
All of this stuff. And I can't remember if Drake actually put a song out after that or if it was crickets, but the thumbnail of that song was Drake's home with a bunch of little like arrows in it. Like it was a Google Maps view, like aerial view. And the song starts off with, "I see dead people." And it's like a picture of his house. And it goes into "They Not Like Us," the cultural phenomenon of the year in terms of hip hop, the biggest beef. And I will tell you, Kendrick won this. It kind of culminated in this photo that you see here of Kendrick Lamar. I believe he was at the Kia Forum out here in LA, completely sold out. He played the song, I believe, 6 times at that show. And one of those times brought out pretty much every iconic West Coast hip hop star from years past, excluding Snoop Dogg because he wasn't there. Not that he wasn't invited necessarily. They all came on the stage.
probably with Martha Stewart somewhere.
Probably with Martha Stewart somewhere.
Yeah. He played the song 6 times.
Yeah, that's what people wanted. They all wanted to go A minor.
Oh, that's the song.
You see, it's important. Oh, enjoy your Kelsey Ballerini, but no stories about how she impacted the culture this year, so she's not on our list. But Kendrick and Drake, they not like us. Next up, you can't go through the year without talking about it.
The Diddy parties.
It went down and it's continuing to go down. We don't know all the
I
details.
know, that would be my new entertainment for the next couple of years. I really hope, I don't know that they will, but just like I watched the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard,
I think it's the new version of that.
I'm hoping to watch it. Not because I want to know all the details, but because I need a distraction.
Yeah.
I think that he should get his just desserts. And I swear if he gets pardoned, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, it'd be pretty wild. I don't know who would save him here other than himself or the blackmail he has against people. I hope that they have the courage to stand up and talk about what has happened to them or to the people that they know. But I know it's going to be...
Is it a federal court case or is it like in different states that because I know he's in jail right now.
It's a bit complicated. It's a criminal case. It does involve trafficking people across state lines.
So it makes it
so
federal.
It is federal. Yeah. And the last I heard was there was over 100 individual lawsuits against him for these SA.
Get him.
Type. Yeah, honestly.
And everyone involved. We see you. We know. We can make guesses.
Bad boys for life. Here's the problem. Well, there's no...
Did you kill Tupac? What about Biggie Smalls?
There is
I know.
so much to unfold.
I know.
I do think you're right that for me, it feels a little bit like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial in 2022. But I think this one's going to be a lot sadder.
I know. I'm going to start a whole new podcast just to talk about the Diddy parties.
Deal.
Trial.
All of these criminal, what do they call that? Like serial crime shows, junkie shows.
Crime junkie.
They're going to be all over it.
Oh, 100%.
But here's what happened here. Whatever happened here, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad as the acts that have been done, but still on my list of sad things is my fear of just how many people not only were victimized, but were the ones who were the perpetrators that are people that we know and thought were
quote,
cool.
Unquote, love,
yes.
Yeah, in the industry. I could name a few.
But if America's taught me anything, particularly with things like Epstein's Island, we'll probably never get any of that information.
You never know.
You never know. But we couldn't go through 2024 without.
talking about
I didn't
it.
even put a picture of him. I put the court sketch drawing.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve a picture.
No, didn't want to put him in there.
Oh
The
my
Tyson versus Paul fight.
The 30 minutes seen around the world.
This was something I was actually looking forward to. We had Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I'm not going to lie. I don't know which Paul brother it is.
I'll look it up because one of them owns Prime and that one's from WWE.
Yeah, that one seems to be doing great in WWE. He's got his Prime energy drinks everywhere. But this one, Paul versus Tyson, here's what happened. We were all looking forward to this. Tyson is like 60-something. Paul is like 27. And I think the general consensus was Tyson is going to beat the crap out of this kid. We were watching all the training videos, and we were like, this is going to be just seeing some little influencer guy get his butt handed to
Jake
him.
Paul. So
Jake
not
Paul.
the one that owns. Logan Paul's the one that owns
it.
Prime and his
Logan
WWE.
Paul so far seems like he's doing his thing, and
He's cool.
Good on him. This was the most boring letdown of a fight.
He didn't even bite his ear.
But he did bite his glove. He was biting onto his glove because he said, I have an oral fixation. That's my Tyson impression. Yeah. It's a little high voice and a lisp. But don't make him mad, or he might stand in a ring with you for 8 rounds and do nothing. Nothing at all.
He's old. It's like in his 50s, so. Not that that's old, but to be fighting.
To be fighting a 27-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
Look, I know our numbers are wrong, but here's what happened. We were all ready for Tyson to beat the crap out of this kid. Everyone was looking forward to it. It was Netflix's first live streamed, I think, event, period, but certainly live streamed sporting event. So we were all like, great, we all have Netflix. We're all going to get to see this. In June or July, when it was supposed to happen, something happens with Tyson. He gets sick. He does something in his abdomen, ruptures. I don't know. Hernia. I can't remember. So they postpone it till November. So now we're all like, great.
That may have been why he lost, though. Is because maybe he was like, I'm still like.
Yeah, my problem is we all just wanted to see him get some solid shots in against Jake Paul.
I didn't at all. I was enjoying the party we were at while you were watching this.
It was definitely not only a big part of the cultural zeitgeist of the year, but it was one of the bigger letdowns of the year.
Dumb.
In terms of boxing, which leads me to my final thought on boxing, that boxing can just go away, I think. MMA is more entertaining to watch, and we're still
WWE is the most entertaining.
because it's a soap opera,
Give me some
baby.
fake fighting and all the drama.
Save
The
the
Margot
drama.
Robbie lookalike.
Yeah, she's cool too. Next up on our list of things that happened, I don't think you know about this either. The Willy Wonka Experience fiasco.
Where was this held?
I believe it was Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah, I think I will say I do feel like I remember kind of hearing about this. And it really, like, it was a really big deal. A bunch of people went, and then it really wasn't anything. It was like someone dressed up, like like someone pretending to be a character, and not like fully in character, but it was like they hired someone who was like, I'm Willy Wonka.
Well, not only do I have the photos here for you to see, but I actually also have a little bit of a video showing you the experience.
Oh my gosh, I can just see it. It looks so sad.
It is so sad. So take a look, check it out. Here's essentially, I'll tell you what's happening. These people were like, come get this great Willy Wonka experience. Here's what it's going to look like. And you'll see in this video so clearly AI generated art. Like this is what it's going to look like. It's not going to look like that at all. And in fact, it didn't. The guy,
it's so sad.
It's just like an airplane hangar that's empty. It's got gray concrete floors.
Yeah.
This guy's like, my little daughter came dressed. This is not a Scottish accent. Oi, me little daughter came dressed as Willy Wonka.
Oh my gosh.
And she was so sad. And then he's like, my son didn't care. But it was one of those experiences that the overpromised and way underdelivered. Apparently, they apologized on their Facebook and they were saying we'll offer refunds, but that post has been conveniently taken down. But as you look at it, I mean, how sad is that?
It's so sad, yeah.
Can you imagine it like having paid money, sight unseen?
They probably were like, we can do this thing together. We'll get sponsorships. It'll be great. And then nobody sponsored. Nobody wanted to be a part of it.
Nope. High expectations, poor execution, and disgruntled guest. And thanks to social media, the word got out. They called it the cheese sandwich of the Fire Festival when it comes to Willy Wonka.
Dang.
It was essentially
name.
that. They could workshop that. I also probably could have
They're
quoted
gonna
it
say
more
Willy
accurately.
Wonka Gate or something, and then it was like the cheese sandwich of the Fire Fest and the thingamabobber.
The cheese sandwich that broke the Wonka's back is
I don't
really
know.
what it was. Either way, I
Even the
couldn't.
chocolate bar that broke the Wonka's back. Goodness gracious, that would be more in line.
There we go. Either way,
Glad we didn't go
glad we didn't fly to Scotland for that.
Scotland.
Couldn't let it go without talking about that. Next up, of course,
Reagan.
the Olympic breakdancing debut. And as quickly as it arrived,
It's gone.
it's gone. I believe we are never having breakdancing in the Olympics again.
No, and it will be out here this year. LA 28, baby.
But is that, that's the Summer Olympics, huh? Dang. Well, you've heard us talk about it on the show, and I'm sure you've seen it all over the internet. But let us not forget about the Australian breakdancer, Reagan, and her sweet, sweet moves. In fact, we talked about her on an episode of the show recently because
Halloween.
I think it was in Australia. They were trying to do Reagan the musical.
Yeah, and she shut that down real quick.
Put the kibosh on that, which I don't understand.
Well, I mean, she embarrassed herself. She didn't actually break dance. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know where she learned how to break dance. I don't know what she was thinking.
That's the thing. As I was like looking through these, like, because I always get photos and clips and that kind of stuff for the show, her moves are crisp. They're just so weird. It's not like breakdancing like we see everyone else do, but you can't argue with the fact that clearly she has rhythm, she can dance, she's like got good technique. It's just like,
Not gonna lie, I've never seen it.
what?
I thought maybe you'd play a video, and I was like, oh, I'll finally get to see her break dance.
Oh my gosh,
Nor.
I would. But you know, with
Nor.
YouTube, they're like, no music ever for some reason. Like we draw the line at music.
That's okay.
But Reagan, one of maybe the biggest stars coming out of 2024.
Yeah.
For better,
Nor for worse.
who knows? Only time will tell. There's only a couple more things worth mentioning. Well, there's lots of things worth mentioning, but some of them are too sad to mention. But this one skirts the line between both. Here in America, at least, you couldn't go through 2024 without talking about the potential assassination, the actual assassination attempt of former president and soon-to-be president Donald Trump, as well as combining it with Biden choosing to not run for his second term, which is, if you can forgive the pun, an unprecedented thing for a president to do. And many people thought it was the move that would put Kamala in the White House.
We were
And
close.
unfortunately, it just was not.
He should have stepped down sooner. Although I do love Joe Biden and all he's done for our country. He served us for a very, very long time, not just as president, but as many other things as well.
Vice president for 8 years,
As
like
Congress.
Yep.
I think he was a senator, actually.
probably.
I think he was in the military as well at some point in time.
You know, I don't know a lot about the man, but I do know that he stepped down when he knew he couldn't keep doing it. And I think there's a lot of
And
good life lessons.
and
in
whether
there.
people want to admit it or not, he has done a lot of good for the country. And
Depending on
I'm
what
glad
news you
that he was
read.
our president. Yeah. I mean, he has, whether you want to accept it or not, you can go look at the policies and things he put in place. Whether you agree with them or not doesn't matter. But he worked hard to try to give the Americans what they wanted.
give the people what they want.
which is a sign of a good president.
Now, this real shocking thing is that assassination attempt.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, I mean, the second one didn't even get a shot off, I don't think.
know.
But the first one, I remember very vividly, as I'm sure we all do.
Someone died.
Yeah, I know. It's
Which
terrible.
we don't talk about that enough. A father died.
Terrible. And all of the people, particularly the children there, who are forever traumatized by being that close to it.
Yeah.
But I will throw this out here. I think that's got to be the first presidential assassination attempt of our lifetime.
Yeah. Not my parents.
No, because there was John F. Kennedy.
I think my dad was telling me that he remembered watching that on the TV or hearing it or something like that.
That was always the question, was where were you when you found out that JFK had been assassinated? And I remember, I wish politics weren't so crazy in America, like so extreme, one-sided both ways, because it helped me realize in that moment when that happened, and I can't remember if I watched it live or I was watching a clip of it, but I thought to myself, like, as much as both sides hate each other, at least for me, I was like, I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to be killed on television or anything.
I don't want that either. But.
Pretty eye-opening for like how crazy and how extremist all of the politics have gotten.
Yeah, I will say this. Whatever side you're on doesn't really matter. I did think that the most ridiculous thing that came out of this was that during the Republican, what is it called? Conference?
National Convention.
Convention. That the way that people chose to show support for Trump was they all bandaged up an ear. I was like, what an interesting way to show support. To be like, we're gonna wear this thing on our ear. To be like, yes. I'm like, that is a very weird thing.
It's a very weird thing. And
I would, if Joe Biden or any president had an assassination attempt on them, I don't know that I would show support by wearing a bandage around whatever area got hit. Like that, it just seems like a weird
solidarity, I guess.
Outrageous thing.
And that's why Kelly just put it on our list. The ear things that people wore. I don't know if we talked about this on the show. I bet we didn't. But also, Grindr, the gay men's dating app, crashed at the Republican National Convention.
Well, I know, because all of the
too many people were on their servers at the convention.
They didn't even know. They're sitting right next to the person they could be with.
That's true. And
their wives were at home.
No shame.
All those Republicans there. Yeah, it's good.
No judgment. We listen and we don't judge. But when you're also a group of people that regularly is against LGBTQIA+,
maybe you're on the wrong side.
Maybe it's time to come out of that closet.
Also, I think it's worth noting that it was a Republican that also tried to assassinate the Republican nominee.
That is true.
I just want to be clear.
Anyway, let's move on from that to something that is, in my opinion, equally sad.
Biden.
The unexpected rise of Chapel Roan and the fall of Chapel Roan. Now, you know more about this person than I do. If you were living under a rock and you didn't hear her hot song, her
Hot to Go
huge,
or Pink Pony Club,
huge hits, here's a little taste of Chapel Roan.
Oh my gosh.
There it is. That was, I don't know if that was Hot to Go or Pink Pony Club, but that is her music. So she came on the scene.
You really don't like her.
I don't, because of the fall. Look, she'll be around for a little bit. I think she'll fade away very quickly, but she treats people
like garbage
so badly. I've seen so many clips of her screaming at people, whether it's the fans in the audience or the VIP that they're no fun, or screaming at the paparazzi, which we all know are annoying, but you haven't been around long enough to be able to scream and throw tantrums and let people just deal with that. You got to figure out, if you're going to be in the public life, in the public eye, how to handle that like a big kid. Go ahead.
I know. You come down real hard, and I think that's okay. She is not my favorite human being. I do enjoy her music. I think it's really fun. It is an interesting thing, though. She's grinded for a really long time to get here. Like, there are stuff of her really performing to small shows, like from a couple years ago.
Yeah, and screaming at people, why don't you know how to do these hand motions?
Yeah, that's from now, when she's like, you're in the VIP. You think you're too cool to do this, or something like that. It doesn't really matter.
You guys are no fun.
But I do think that it's a weird balance for me, because I'm like, celebrities are changing, and I think that's a good thing. Like, it's no longer like they just do and say what they're supposed to do. There's also no longer like a certain elegance that comes. Like, well, when I think about like George Clooney or Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock, I know that's like weird and that's like older Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. Like,
Yeah, but
there's
I
a
get what
certain
you're saying.
elegance that came with them.
It's like a poison professional.
Yeah, they knew how to hold themselves.
Yes.
And I feel like that's changing with celebrities, which I like to some extent. Like, I like the Jennifer Lawrences who can come out and they're like, wait, what do I do? Like, I'm here. What do I supposed to, like, I don't know. I'm more, she's still nice and kind. Hear me when I say that. But like her or the Zendayas or Chris Evans and any of the Marvel people, like all these people who are coming out and being more of who they are, but still being nice and kind and respectful. I think that is like the new Florence Pugh is a great example of that as well. Like, she is who she is, and she's not going to change that for you. She's going to tell you how it is, but she's also not going to be intentionally mean.
I agree.
You know, she might tell you no, like, why are you asking me about my clothes? We haven't asked SP about his.
Yeah.
But
it's a moose jacket.
You know, but I think that it's changing. And so I look at her and I go, I feel so bad for you because I think you're trying to find your way, but you came into the industry with a chip on your shoulder.
Yes.
And you've put that on everyone else. And I think that is the piece for me that's really hard with Chaperone, where I'm like, nobody is out to get you except for yourself and what you think. And you think everyone else is out to get you.
Yes. My own worst enemy.
And so like the way I agree, like you shouldn't be treated by paparazzis in a certain way. And it's interesting because there were two instances almost back to back, one with Chaperone and one with Rachel Zegler. If you don't know who Rachel Zegler is, she is
Hunger Games girl.
Yeah, she's the girl from the Ballads of Song, the Ballad of
Thorns. I don't
Snakes
know.
and Song of Birds and Snakes. She's also Snow White. She was also in West Side Story, and she's on Broadway right now in Jack Antonoff's Romeo and Juliet, who is partners with on the producer of Taylor Swift. Anyway, it's a lot of information.
Wow.
But there were two separate instances where Rachel Zegler also like clapped back at paparazzi, and then so did Chaperone. But it was both trying to get the same point across, but both done in very different ways. And I thought it was so interesting to watch where Rachel Zegler was like, she turned around and she was like, hey, like, don't yell at me. I'm a human. Like, be nice. And then she still was like, I'll smile for you, but like, don't freaking like yell at me.
Yeah, yeah.
Where Chaperone, I don't remember what she was like at the Grammys or something and was like really yelling at them.
And cussing at
and
them.
Cussing at them. And I was like, there's
like,
two ways to do it. You can still stand your ground and be like, hey, like, don't do that thing.
Right.
Hillary Duff's done the same thing recently with like, don't take pictures of my kids. Like, you can take pictures of me all you want, but like, don't take pictures of me. I'm like,
healthy boundary.
It's okay to like tell the paparazzi, tell people what you don't want or your fans or whatever. But like, I just feel like the way she does it is so aggressive because she truly does have like a chip on her shoulder. She thinks everyone's out to get her. She also got herself in trouble during the election because she said something about one of the candidates and then she kind of flip-flops and went the other way. And then she was like, I'm going to take some time off social media because everyone was kind of like, what are you doing? So I just think she has a lot to learn.
She had some high-profile collaborations, stuff like that. She's gotten a lot of the attention this year, but through a series of social media posts and interviews, sparked some debates that pushed her to cancel a lot of her, I think the rest of her tour.
Yeah.
Cancel a lot of that, to cancel appearances and just bail on, honest bail on shows, fans, expectations, all of that kind of stuff. And so
from her own doing.
Well, that's
and she's
my
like,
problem.
Because my mental health and stress. I'm like, yeah, because you're being dumb and you're saying stupid things. Like,
oh no,
shut up.
Here come the consequences to my actions.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that whole situation.
She was on SNL though recently, and I was like, that's so interesting that you canceled all your shows, but then you were like,
we'll still do this. That is the end of day one. That's all of the things we're talking about in 2024.
There's nothing. There's truly nothing else.
No, that's really it.
Chaperone was what we're ending on.
Yep.
Lame.
I figured we might as well mark the end of her career with the end of this first episode of Hardly Holidays.
I don't think she'll be gone. I just think she'll struggle.
But hopefully we learn, we grow, we change.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I do think that she feels like she's like the Katy Perry of her generation.
She's more like, I think she's trying to be the Lady Gaga of her generation.
I think that too, but Lady Gaga was outrageous but not mean.
And that's the problem.
That was Katy Perry too. She's kind of outrageous but not mean.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
With this other girl. Anyway, that's it for day one. Hope you enjoyed it. We got 9 more days coming at you each and every day from now until New Year's. Hope you enjoy your holidays and that you spend most of your time
hardly working through the Hardly Holidays. Bye.
Bye.